Have you all noticed how much technology is changing our world? So I woke up this morning thinking that you probably didn't have enough to worry about. So I thought I would add a few of my recent thoughts to that experience that you were having. Just imagine that you were in the field of trucking. According to some stories out there, many stories out there, this is the number one industry that will be impacted by industrialized robotics and computer software distribution. Robots in the form of sensory trucks and software will replace the truck drivers. And right now, apparently, truck drivers make up one of the largest blocks of employed Americans that there are. So 5 years from now, chances are you'll be seeing fully robotic, automatic, autonomous semi-trucks driving up and down the freeways more efficiently, less downtime, better coordination between trucks and fleets. It's probably going to happen. So says certain people's prognostications of the future. I don't know. I mean, I think it's a little bit difficult to make that large an investment, but it certainly could happen if a large enough group decided to do it. I mean, a very large group like an Amazon or a Facebook or a Google or the kind of people that are investing in pipelines. They have the money to do it if they wanted to. Okay, so if you're in the trucking industry, you're probably going to feel that pressure relatively soon. Okay, what else? Is it potential to have a car that doesn't rely on roads and parking spaces? Apparently that's true also. It costs a lot more fuel and a lot more issues with getting in and out of parking, but cars could be made to drive themselves autonomously. We already know that that's possible. But could it replace you? Well, if you're an Uber or a Lyft driver, then yeah, it totally will replace you. And that's right now one of those little niches that's keeping people happy. You can supplement your income by being an Uber or Lyft driver. Well, an autonomous vehicle, after somebody invests enough in it, will replace that industry too. So what else? Accountants can easily be replaced by software. Some machines completely replace checkers in supermarkets. There are apparently stores built by Amazon in certain cities of America that require absolutely no humans to be present. They simply monitor what the customers are doing and which items move through the store. So you pick up things and put them in your counter and in your cart and walk out, and it's all transacted automatically. So that's totally possible, and it's being experimented with right now. So good luck to all of you out there. What else? There must be things that I'm missing. Software has been shown to successfully write poetry. I mean, it's not beautiful, but it follows the same form of most people who are learning those things. So that's fun. Not being sure if it was written by a machine or not, that's certainly entertaining. Could I be replaced? Usually I work in the engineering fields, electronics, solving problems by looking at things critically. I think that I'm in a niche that keeps me relatively safe if I go back to that world. I mean, I don't want to go back to that world because it's mostly paperwork and financial responsibility at the end of the month or at the end of the quarter. Not really all that much fun. I'd much rather be doing this thing right here. This is so much more entertaining and culturally relevant. And I think cultural relevancy is far more interesting and critically important than just keeping a company's profit margin stable. So could I be replaced? Well, Max Headroom replaced talking newscasters and entertainers in the 80s, so maybe a bunch of talking head machine robots will replace anybody talking into a camera in an entertaining way. Engineering principles are just formulas, so they can certainly be used to solve problems. But troubleshooting and keeping all the logistics correct is a coordination. That's a coordination machine. I don't know how a block of software could be used to figure out all the pieces that are moving at the same time. Because a lot of that just depends on who has the information. But I guess if all the information were already inside the machines, and the machines could coordinate a hell of a lot more efficiently than we could, as a collection of engineers and technicians and project managers. Yeah, if it were entirely within the machine, and then instructions were given to an assembly line or a distribution center, yeah, we could all be replaced by the machines. How about activism? The idea that the team of activists could be replaced by machines. I guess if this could be a good call to arms. A bunch of really intelligent software designers could create a bot that massively distributes kind of propaganda to put pressure against like pipelines or environmental impacts or coal trains going through a location. Yeah, software could totally do that, but it wouldn't be on site. It wouldn't touch anybody's emotions. So I think that probably would remain in the aspect of entirely a human prospect, because you need people to come to arms and respond. So let's just say all these things happen. 20 years from now, software and technology, automation could replace most of us. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? I don't know. Terrifying, right? Potentially terrifying. And most of the people that I know don't rely on service industry jobs or customer service or distribution like trucking offers. Most people I know are in information systems of some kind, or creation of some kind, or care for other human beings. So those things are pretty much idiosyncratic and tailored to an individual circumstance. Not really a machine process. But across the vast expanses of America, most people do rely on the infrastructure to give them employment. So what happens? I don't know. I just imagine 20 years from now, we're all just sitting happily around our backyards. All of our needs are met. We're comfortable and happy. We explore the trees and the nature and go down the road and talk to our neighbors who are getting all their money from the big corporations, and all their needs and happiness is being met from the corporations. Or not. Okay, so imagine now maybe it's 25, let's say 30 years in the future. Every form of employment that you've ever heard of is gone, except for doctors and military enforcement, and a couple of banking positions. But everything else is gone. We've devolved into something like Mad Max. Which side will you take? I think I would prefer to be on the side that lives alone in the desert, maybe in the forest. And then to end with a bit of discussion about Buddha's wisdom. According to the teachings from the Buddhas, we are living in degenerate times. It is very difficult to find and maintain a spiritual practice in degenerate times. The distractions are many, the worries are many, the uncertainty of the future is high. It's very difficult to focus on purification and understanding of your own mind. Degenerate times. What happens after you die? But I'll try to squeeze it in before my brain shuts down. The only thing that matters throughout your life is what you do with your spirit, your mind, how you treat others, how you evaluate the things that happen to you, and the way that you treat others. So when you die, that's all you have left. These individual moments are transient. They force you to react according to some predefined pattern of behavior. Putting some constraint on that, some control, some overlying idea that things can be, that there's something truth behind the clouds, behind the mirror, behind the shadows, whatever metaphor you like. There is something bigger going on. Spend more time focusing on that, removing the obstacles and the pains that you feel every day, and you will die a little bit happier. Your friends and loved ones will be a little bit happier every day. Go off there and be your best. Truly be your best.